Well, Coastal Bend, we are seeing those breezy winds across the entire area, 20 to 25 miles per hour out of the southeast. Seas expected of 5 to 7 feet in our bays and waterways. That's why we have the small craft advisory in effect until 1 a.m. for our Tuesday morning. Something to keep in mind out there. We'll show you the rest of the temperatures coming.
Corpus Christi budget cuts are on the attack, with parking enforcement in its sights. I'm Drew Bishop, and coming up, I'll tell you why an entire division of city employees is potentially being eliminated.
Many of us leave high school and don't know the first thing about finances, but one local credit union is making sure to change that. We'll tell you how it's teaching local teens how to save money. Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. Here are the top stories of the day.
They patrol your streets, protect handicap and ADA parking, and enforce paid parking. But budget cuts could shrink their resources. I'm Drew Bishop, and Corpus Christi is moving towards eliminating its parking enforcement division. Last week, we got an anonymous email into our newsroom.
The city's Economic Development Department has officially eliminated the Parking Enforcement Division, removing junk and abandoned vehicles on the streets, ADA enforcement in parking lots, upkeep of the parking meters downtown. It's all going away as of July 31st due to budget cuts.
The email mentions vehicles blocking sidewalks, ADA ramps, and fire hydrants. That's all the responsibility of parking enforcement.
The point is that parking enforcement does a lot more than just issue citations and tow vehicles. They work to keep the streets, the kids, and the disabled safer.
Now, this change isn't official yet. Tuesday's City Council agenda reads that they are looking to authorize mid-year budget adjustments to account for the reduction of positions to revise parking meter revenue, among other changes involving parking money. The memo itself reads that they will reduce the Parking Enforcement Division, which includes 8 positions and its operating costs. The city says this move will save them $1.7 million annually on their budget. So who will enforce parking rules, hand out citations, or remove abandoned vehicles? The memo says that code compliance officers will issue citations, but code compliance is still responsible for monitoring lots, dangerous buildings, trash, sidewalks, and more. And our anonymous emailer says that's not a viable solution.
Code enforcement is far too understaffed to do anything, and PD has far too many more important issues to deal with.
I reached out to Development Services, which manages code compliance as one of its divisions. They had no comment at this time. The issue will be discussed at City Council on Tuesday. Reporting from downtown, I'm Drew Bishop for KRIS 6 News.
I'm Jada Strayer in Flower Bluff, where one church is helping the community during a time when financial strains are hitting everyone's pockets.
Coastal Bend resident Rick Marcantonio says many people are feeling the financial strain.
I think there are a number of people struggling. Those that are struggling have facilities around. I know at our church we have a food pantry, and we have people that need help.
Church Without Walls is one of those facilities making a difference. I spoke to Brother Ray Escalante and his wife Terry about their efforts to help the community.
We're providing food through the food bank, through our own donations that we get. Anytime during the month somebody can come by for a meal. Not that we fix it, but they fix it, but we got frozen meats all the time.
The church provides food assistance every first Thursday of the month, plus meals during Sunday service. They also offer books, bicycles, toiletries, and secure lockers for those who need storage. But Brother Ray goes the extra mile, literally. He uses a custom electric bike with a basket to deliver groceries directly to families in the neighborhood.
That first Thursday of the month when we pass out groceries, that's when I hop on this and put some groceries for families.
Brother Ray says the need continues to grow in the community.
We were serving about 200 families a week, and then we had, because of COVID, we cut it down to once a month, and we're up to 60 families a week right now, but it's climbing. Every month it gets more and more.
The church welcomes community support to expand their efforts. People can donate money through Cash App or checks, or drop off items directly at the church. For Brother Ray, this work isn't just a calling. It's become his life's purpose.
But I don't know what else I would do. I've been doing this so long. It'll be 27 years in October that we've been doing this. We did a tent for 17 years, and I had a dream to build this, and we built it.
Church Without Walls gives out food every first Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. and a meal with their church service every Sunday at 2:30. Reporting from Flower Bluff, I'm Jada Strayer, KRIS 6 News.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels, and sargassum has been giving some endangered turtles some trouble, and local rescuers are stepping up. As we reported, the sargassum is piling up thicker than usual this summer. Typically, this is caused by things like higher than normal water temps or a nutrient runoff that feeds the seaweed. And wildlife responders say more than 100 green sea turtles have been rescued or documented in the seaweed, with crews patrolling the beach every night.
Kind of came in earlier and way more than usual. I've seen it worse maybe in 2008. It was really piled up on that side.
Residents say it's not just how much seaweed, it's where it's ending up.
Last year, a lot of it was washing up to shore, and this year it seems like a lot of it's just getting caught more so in the water itself, whether that be like rocks or, any sort of like sea creatures.
These green sea turtles are recovering at the Texas State Aquarium from a separate cold stunning event, but they're the same species now washing up in the sargassum. And I spoke with the CEO of the Texas State Aquarium, Jesse Gilbert, who told me why it's happening.
We'll see some turtles that are about a dinner plate size, kind of that age class, get caught up and just can't really fight through, whether it's the wind, the tide, and the sargassum. You combine all that together, it can make for a challenging time for the turtles to get out.
Responders say once they're pushed ashore, the turtles can get tangled in the weed and worn down, unable to make it back to open water.
And sargassum is a good thing. I know it's a nuisance from a tourist standpoint and on the beach, but sargassum actually acts as a nursery for fish. So some of the neat things to do, even when I was in school, is you'd go and you'd look in the sargassum and you can find a bunch of baby fish that you might not normally see. You can certainly find turtles.
There is good news. The Texas Sea Life Center says the turtles came in exhausted, but mostly unhurt. This week alone, the center released 77 of them back into the wild, and most of the time, the turtles can get released back quickly. They just need a small break.
Crews will continue to keep patrolling, but as a reminder, if you find a turtle in trouble, you can always call to get them some help. Reporting on Padre Island, Jacob Daniels, Chris 6 News.
Well, hey there and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look through our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group on Facebook, saw this great shot. Thank you to Barbara for sending this one in from Lake Corpus Christi. A great view of the sunset over the weekend. Either way, if you get any good sunset shots like this one, sunrise shots, or maybe even just good cloud formations, hopefully you also take a quick photo or video, submit that to our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group. You might just find yours featured on one of our broadcasts as well. In terms of those current weather alerts going on out there, we're holding on to a small craft advisory for the bays and waterways. That's going to be through 1 a.m. tonight for our Tuesday morning, either way you want to put it. That's for seas 5 to 7 feet and winds of 20 to 25 knots out of the southeast as we're heading out there. I'm going to hold on to a pretty decent breeze as we're heading into our Tuesday afternoon also. And speaking of our Tuesday afternoon, looking at feels like temperatures chasing the triple digits once again, even upwards of 104 and 5 degrees in terms of the feels like temperature, at least out there. Air temperature is likely to stop in those lower 90s, but either way feeling plenty of humidity. We'll take a look at the rest of the week coming up in our full 7-day forecast.
So you learn so much going through school, but speaking on my own education, there was a lot about finances I had no clue about, but that's where local entities are stepping in to help fill that gap. For Financial Fridays, we have Eric and Uriah, who actually went through this program. Eric, can you talk to me a little bit about what this program teaches students?
Yeah, so it's a financial literacy event. It can be considered a financial wellness event overall. It's a great event where we open up our doors at Coast Life Credit Union and invite the youth and young adults in to come spend a half day with us on Fridays and learn about everything from budgeting to credit score. We give them a reality experience with a full-fledged budget, maybe some debt. We sign them maybe a kid or two as well too, just a real life experience as well too. But for the younger ones as well too, we invite them in as well, and we go over financial terms, financial literacy with them from that, and we cover a lot of things in that.
So Uriah, I want to bring you in on this because when I was your age, I had no idea about finances at all. What are some of the biggest things that you learned yourself that you had no idea about?
I would say one of the biggest things that I learned is the 50-20-30 rule. Is you put 50% of what you get into your savings account, 20% you could put into your wants, and 30% you could put into your needs. Saving goes a long way because it could go from right now, when I was a child, I had $1,000 saved, and I could use it when I'm older, to buy an apartment, put a down payment for my house maybe.
We like to educate the youth and that they should shop around, you know. There's various fees that might be associated with certain accounts that if they might not have the minimum in their bank account, they get fees on top of that. You know, reimbursement for ATM fees, you know, is great. Every card that debit card that you're swiping or tapping out there should be coming along with rewards, you know, and those kind of things. And not every bank or credit union offers that with them.
Well, Eric, you're right. Thank you so much for joining us today. And hey, folks, if you would like to be part of the next Financial Fridays that Coast Life Credit Union is going to be holding, all you got to do is go to our website, christv.com. I'll have all the details posted.
Watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
Technical discussions are expected to continue this week in Switzerland. Vice President J.D. Vance says the high-level talks laid a, quote, good foundation, but is also clear there's more work to do. The United States is boasting progress after negotiations with Iran against a lakeside backdrop in Switzerland.
This is laying a foundation for what could be a truly transformed Middle East. But we haven't built the house yet.
The parties agreed on a roadmap in efforts to reach a final agreement, according to mediators. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran agreed to invite International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors into the country, though Iranian officials at last check have not publicly confirmed that. President Donald Trump on Truth Social stating, quote, everybody is fully aware that Iran will agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future.
We're obviously going to bolster that inspection regime to make sure they can never have a nuclear weapon.
Vance also says in a, quote, classic Trump deal, the U.S. and Qatar will have approval over the process of unfreezing Iranian assets used to purchase American agriculture, but only with progress.
And we actually asked the Qataris to help us set up the mechanism so that we can ensure that the money goes where we want it to go, and they agreed to do that. But fundamentally, that money is not going to be unfrozen unless we continue to see progress.
The parties also focused on deconfliction mechanisms for the Strait of Hormuz and Lebanon. That as Israel and Lebanon are expected to have another round of talks in Washington. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding firm on forces in southern Lebanon over concerns of Hezbollah threats.
Right now, over the next few days in DC, the severe damage actually inflicted on Hezbollah has created a new reality in Lebanon, and that has opened a window for this potential historic agreement.
In the backdrop, the U.S. issued a 60-day sanctions waiver on the sale of Iranian oil as traffic increased through the Strait of Hormuz. The United States technical team includes members from State, Treasury, Energy, and the Pentagon, according to a U.S. official. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also expected to make a swing through the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain to discuss in part the Memorandum of Understanding and the Strait of Hormuz, according to a spokesperson. Haley Bull, Scripps News Group, Washington.
I'm John Matarese. Amazon Prime Day is almost here, but beware, thieves will be trolling neighborhoods everywhere. I'll show you how to best protect your packages. Prime Day has morphed into one of the largest sale events of the year with big savings on tech, essentials, and more. But if a thief gets to your package first, all those savings disappear.
Katie Minning doesn't want packages delivered to her apartment.
I actually get them delivered to my parents' house just because packages have been stolen in the past.
Damascus Winslow uses this Amazon hub for the same reason.
I usually get them sent to a pickup center.
Bright idea, especially this week. Amazon's Prime Day may be in the spotlight, but other retailers like Walmart and Target hold competing sales as well. That means millions of packages shipped and a fraction of those stolen.
laws of averages, at some point, it's probably going to hit me.
Greg Zakowicz with the marketing platform Omnisend says nearly 1 in 3 households experienced package theft last year, losing just over $100 on average. Zakowicz says companies continue to deploy new tools to make sure packages aren't intercepted.
Companies like UPS, right, they have their AI tools that try to predict the likelihood or the higher likelihood that a package will be stolen for that particular address in that particular area based on that time of season. And they might reroute that or give the consumer an option to reroute that.
As companies try to prevent theft, there's a lot more you can do. According to security.org, use Amazon's hub lockers and hub counters, schedule delivery for when you're home, or direct packages to someone who will be home. For retailers with physical locations, utilize curbside or pickup options. If all else fails, set up a doorbell camera, like Kanisha Artley.
I let them know that I do have a camera, and that is the purpose of it, so that the packages don't get stolen.
At least the thief will show up on camera and maybe on social media, and that way you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
As the summer driving season shifts into high gear, there's encouraging news out of the Middle East. Oil prices dropped after the latest rounds of talks led by Vice President J.D. Vance, and that should help gas prices stay where they are, which are still near $4 a gallon nationwide. Drivers in California still paying more than $5.50. Indiana has the cheapest average at $3.32. Woody, king of the box office this weekend. Toy Story 5 bringing in $160 million in North America and more than $300 million globally. That's the biggest movie opening of the year, and it's the second biggest ever for an animated film. Steven Spielberg's alien thriller Disclosure Day was second, bringing in $17 million this weekend. And finally, Elmo, setting the record straight. He believes in the U.S. men's national soccer team. After ruffling some feathers among Knicks fans 2 weeks ago, wishing both teams good luck in the NBA Finals, the Sesame Street star posted a video saying he loves Team USA and all of its players. If the U.S. makes it all the way, that final game will be played at New York, New Jersey's stadium.
Well, there, Coastal Bend, taking a look through our overnight future tracker. You can see how we're still expected to hold on to those upper 70s and lower 80s across the entire region. That's thanks to the humidity in our atmosphere, that air you can wear. The dew points are still in the upper 70s out there. Normally, that would be a recipe for some fog in the morning, and we could still see a couple patches of that fog try to set up, but holding on to winds of 15 miles an hour, mostly going to be breaking up whatever we see dew develop in the morning. As we're heading into the afternoon, though, a little bit of a rinse and repeat forecast for what we saw for our Monday afternoon. Plenty of that sunshine is expected, and once again back to the lower 90s for daytime highs, and feels like temperatures back to those triple digits once again. In terms of our rain chances, going to be riding towards the bottom of the board as we're heading through the rest of the week. That's thanks to the upper level ridge of high pressure overhead. The main thing you're going to be needing that umbrella for, just some shade from the sunshine is what it's looking like. Here's how it's playing out on the 7-day forecast right now. Plenty of sunshine pretty much all week and into the weekend. 91 if not 92 degrees for the daytime high, with overnight lows riding the upper 70s for the whole forecast. Well, hey there, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at our Lion Butte Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Harley on the board right here from Nueces County, and says their favorite place to take a walk is over along the beach. As we're heading through tonight, expecting those temperatures to be dropping slowly through the 80s, still holding on to 83 degrees as we're heading towards that midnight hour. And looking at the winds, luckily they're also starting to calm down as we're heading into tonight, from closer to 20 miles an hour going down to closer to 10 miles an hour as we're heading into the overnight time frame. In terms of that heat risk, we're still feeling plenty of heat around the Coastal Bend. That moderate heat risk today for our Monday time frame gets a little bit better with some pockets of the minor heat risk for our Tuesday. By Wednesday, we do start to see some drier air working in, especially for our inland neighborhoods. That minor heat risk still going to be around though, and as you work your way closer to the coast, holding on to a stretch of that moderate heat risk. For the 7-day forecast, here's how it's looking right now, with 91 if not 92 degrees each and every day for the daytime high. Plenty of sunshine on the board with overnight lows in the upper 70s the whole time for us, and we hope you have a great rest of your night, Coastal Bend.